did want to talk about the biggest thing getting used to isn't the gas, isn't the electricity, it was immigration for me and Mr. Wink here. We arrived at Heathrow at 8 p.m., ended up not getting out till probably 11:30, because we were stuck in immigration because we weren't prepared. So
do not underestimate immigration, as we both did. It is not the country club that I thought it would be. They do not find you amusing. They do not find you charming. And even this winning smile will not get you out.
They don't think your accent's cute.
Exactly.
It's like a even more super serious DMV where they're willing to detain you and go through all your stuff. So what happened to us?
No lollipops for kids.
No lollipops. What happened to us is we arrived, and I walked up to the immigration officer, and me and him together, and she asked me how much money I have. I said none, because it's on a bank account. As you saw in the last episode, I plan on withdrawing everything from an ATM. And she said, oh, that's curious. Well, where's your ticket to leave? We have no ticket to leave because we wanted an open-ended trip. So she thought we were a bunch of American deadbeats who trying to live in England and work, which wasn't the case. But we had no way to prove otherwise. So we got detained and had to sit while they searched. First, they ran our passport, ran our information. They asked for where I was staying, and I gave them Brian back there cooking us a delicious dinner.
His brother Brian was one, at least we had a permanent address of sorts, this location, and Brian...
Yeah, if we didn't have that, done.
So this guy, we may not like him much, but he helps us in that way.
Give me Coke? Yeah, sure.
So, called his brother a bit. That took some time. They interrogated his brother about our story. Then they searched our things.
Well, the interrogation deserves a little mention because they asked things that you wouldn't think they want to know. Where did I live back in the States? Did I have my own apartment? Who paid for it? Where did I work? How long I worked there? Where do I have a number? Where's my job? Did I have a job lined up for me when I came back? You know, just enough to try.
Waist size. A lot of just personal questions. They obviously want to make sure that we had a reason to go back. She didn't seem to understand or appreciate that we come from the great land of the red, white, and blue, so why would we want to go anywhere else? But we had to prove otherwise.
So the grandeur of open-ended travel or, you know, being a big hippie and wandering around Europe, immigration doesn't appreciate that. You should probably have a way out when you get there.
As Sean said to me when we were there, September 11, 2001 forever changed the world in a lot of ways. One way is your go-lucky open-ended travel is a whole lot more complicated than you'd like it to be.
And this isn't a United States ally, England. I mean, we weren't trying to get into Pakistan or you know, anything. And
should be as easy an entry point as international travel.
For Canada, it's the only easier place.
And it didn't work out. So keep that in mind. Do not underestimate it. You probably should at least have some very clear proof of your limit of your stay, if not an actual ticket home.
So, yeah, well, and on top of that, you need money to prove you can get back if you don't have a ticket. Because I had no cash on me, you know, if I had, you know, $1,000 or, you know, 1,000 pounds on me, she might have been more inclined to believe, okay, this kid can afford his way home. But for all she knew, I was stuck, and that's not what they want.
Right.
But after they interrogated us, they made us get our bags, and they took us in the back, and they made us open those bags, and they took everything out of each of our bags and asked pretty much what each thing was. I mean, the clothes, they were kind of good, but, you know, I had guidebooks. They said, oh, well, this implies you're just on holiday. That's good. And they went through Wink stuff.
They went through mine pretty personally, and while Sean is an emotionless drone, I have sources of writing, personal correspondence, other things that made my possessions more signature to me, which they found interesting. So, including a few things that the immigration official walked off on, a journal, some letters, things of that nature. Walked into a back room. They flopped us back into
for about 30 minutes.
Closed room.
We sat there.
More than that, even longer, I would think. No.
And we're in the middle of these lines where we just see, you know, planes and planes of people from different countries. So we would just see all of a sudden 200 Indians show up, you know, 200 Canadians show up, and you know they're all throwing around you, and you're just sitting there going, should have got a ticket.
So not long enough after the immigration official returned with my possessions and a smirk on her face, we had to speak to another immigration official.
The manager, the head of the whole Heathrow immigration that terminal anyway.
The night manager, let's face facts.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I went through and did our story once again. I had spared all my intimate
Interrogated
details. Interrogated separately, cross-referenced our stories, went through what was in my journal, all those boys' names from those nights at camp, and came back with a result, ended up saying we're good to go, and we left after 2.5 hours or so, whatever it was. And we are American citizens with American passport-holding citizens with visas, going to not only an EU nation, but perhaps the country that the United States is closest with internationally, and we had that much trouble. So if you were going to a different entry point around the world, you may even want to think a little bit more and have further preparation.
Basically the outline was you need proof that you can afford your way home, and beyond that, if you have proof that you're going home, you have a way out. If we were to have our Euro tickets, which you'll see later in this episode, how that all worked out, that might have helped us out. So the open-endedness of, I'll just stay for 20 days and then I'll leave, that's not cool with them, because for all they know, you're planning some schemes.
As we mentioned in other posts on our blog, WeDon'tSpeakLanguage.com, 3 months an American without a visa is allowed in the EU, but they want clear proof that you're not going to come near to that time.
Yeah, they don't want you touching that. I mean, they asked us repeatedly how long you're staying, and we would say, a week, 2 weeks, and that got them a little schemed out. So, so once we got home, we were really, really hungry. So you'll see the cheapest way to eat in the UK that we could find.
See how that looks. Is it the same? That isn't the same as the stove one?
No.
So we were just lighting it.
Yeah, and then eating the pizza.
Okay.
That's pizza.
All right. So, combining the two, knowing how to make a stove, knowing how to eat pizza, cheap food, knowing how to make it, it can save you money, time, and lives, if you know what you're doing. So there's that.
Okay, you want to do URL?
URL.
You gotta get all that shit. Hold on, did we run out of tape?
Please, ladies and gentlemen, have your boarding cards out and available. Group 1 is now boarding. And now I'd like to invite Group 2.